Do you know how to win the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship and what exactly the selection committee is looking at when they are reviewing your applications? To answer this question, today with me are two very important guests. One is the program director himself, Kanut. He is the overall program coordinator of Erasmus Mundus Master in Smart Systems Integrated Solutions. And we also have Ferry from BME Budapest. He is a professor and he is also involved in the selection process. So, I'm going to ask important questions. My name is Mohammad Shahryar Ali and I am studying this program. Let's get started. First of all, thank you so much, Kanut and Ferry, for this conversation. Uh, I will start with Ferry. What is Erasmus Mundus Master? How it is different from any conventional master's program?
What you need to know that there is over 10,000 adult master programs in the EU, if I'm not mistaken. Am I mistaken?
I don't know the number, but it could very well be that.
Yeah, so we are talking about thousands of master's programs available in the EU. However, speaking of Erasmus Mundus, it is limited in a number of roughly 100. So running an Erasmus Mundus program is, on one hand, guarantee for the quality. One criteria is that one university cannot run an Erasmus Mundus program on its own. They have to team with other universities. At least 3 universities can build up a master program, and each of the partnering institutions will give their best into the program. That's why one university cannot do the program on its own. So the students who are involved in such programs will, on one hand, enjoy the high competence of the partnering institutions, which comes with the quality. On the other hand, with selected students, will enjoy the support of the European Committee in the form of a scholarship, which will help them to for the daily life, and as well as for the accommodation and the traveling. And the EU will cover fully the tuition fees for the university.
Thank you. My second question is to Kanut. How would you define this program? Why is the name of this program Smart Systems Integrated Solutions? What does it really mean?
So smart systems, first of all, that's about systems that are able to sense the environment. Sensors that can sense the mechanical environment, biological environment, optical, the different modalities. Then enable to process the data that have been collected, and eventually to make decisions to be part of the system. Now, this in itself requires a combination of the different components. One is the sensing component, the other is the signal processing and electronics part, and that's where the integration parts come in. When you talk about smart systems integration, it has actually two aspects. One is what we call the functional integration. The sensors are integrated with electronics in order to make use of the data collected. The other is the physical integration, that you're not only working on the design of the sensor itself, but also how to assemble a package into complete systems. So both of these aspects are part of what we call smart system integrations. So why do we call it smart systems integrated solutions? It's because this is not only for making components that may appear fancy for the designer, but they shall solve issues that the society needs.
In other words, the data which is collected from the real environment is at some level processed in those devices. So at some level, as a result of the data analysis, those devices are capable of make a decision. Not necessarily a complex one, but at least they are processing the data at some level.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. This was the overview of the program. And now let's dive into some most anticipated questions, like how do you evaluate the profile of an applicant? So my question to Kanut is how to win the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship for this program? Like what are the key factors?
The key factor is to be brilliant. So it's first of all to have a relevant bachelor degree in engineering. Could be in electronics engineering. Could also be in mechanical engineering or in mechatronics or physics. But for all these, there's a requirement that a certain level of electronics, particularly analog electronics, is known from bachelor. So the grades are of course the major points for assessing the candidates. It also matters whether whether you have your bachelor degree from a university with a higher word ranking, because that is to some degree reflects the grades you obtain. Then what is very important is the motivation letter you write. That we can see that you have first of all a clear understanding about the project about the program you are applying to. That this is something you wish to go. That it appears that this is something you not only understand what this, but you have some clear idea about why you want to study SSIS and what you want to do with it after you have finished the studies.
Okay. Ferry, would you like to add something to this? Like how important is the motivation letter?
Yeah, let me put like this. Being selected for this program, and I suppose to any Erasmus Mundus programs, is very challenging. If I can share some not yet public data with you, in the last year, more than 1,000 application was received, and at the end of the day, we don't know the concrete figures yet, but roughly 20 applicants will start the new year in the SSI program. So it is very challenging. The selection process consists of more aspects, how we are assessing the applicants. One is the motivation letter, but there are other factors, such like we have an interview, we have a competence test. Out of the three, they are testing different aspects of the applicants. Motivation letter is testing the motivation, of course, but Knut already mentioned is the background. So which institution awarded the bachelor degree for the applicant, this also matters. The interview also tests some sort of the motivation, but it is rather focusing on the behavior of the applicant in a rather stressful situation, like an interview. And also we ask the applicants to show us some previous experiences, some previous projects, what they have accomplished during the bachelor, even as a academic project or a private, a hobby project. We are equally interested in both of them. And then comes the competence test, what really wants to measure if the background knowledge, what comes from the bachelor degree, fits well enough into the expected background knowledge in the SSI program. Your question was the motivation letter.
Yes.
Yes, it is important, but it is only a part of the evaluation. For the motivation letter, every applicant has plenty of time to prepare. But as I said, it is not the only aspect. What we are really focusing on, that the motivation letter shouldn't be too vague, too general. Okay, it should really focus on the program, the characteristics of the program, and we really want to see that the applicant has a common understanding of what smart system integration is about and what are smart systems. Your bachelor degree, this is something you cannot change. However, the three other factors, the motivation letter, the interview, and the competence test, those are things what you can, what you have some effect on. And for the interview and for the motivation letter, you can prepare, and we advise be very well prepared. Okay, so take time to write a good motivation letter and take your time to be very well prepared for the interview. The competence test is again something what you cannot really prepare, but there are rare cases where either the interview or the competence test will change the actual sequence in the application ranking.
Okay, thank you for this detailed answer. But I want your comment. Like he talked about job experience. Like for example, if there is a fresh graduate and he has no job experience, how would you evaluate him?
It's of course positive to have some job experience, but it's certainly not a requirement. So if there is a freshly graduated bachelor that shows a clear interest, that maybe has had several projects which are relevant, could be the bachelor project in his or her education. It could be some side projects. It could be some summer job. All this is relevant. We are, So we are really looking into does this candidate understand what the Smart Systems Integrated Solutions is about, the program itself, and so working experience is positive. There are examples where there are applicants that have really relevant job experience, but it's not so common. So it's not a requirement to have job experience, but it's positive.
Thank you. Do you expect research publications from the candidates?
Now it's the same as for this job experience. It's positive. It's not a requirement. This also comes to quite different cultures in the different countries. So some applicants have an amazing list of publications up front. in Europe, it's not very common that people that only have a bachelor degree have published at all. This typically comes when you have more education, and that will also be different between different nations. Keep in mind that we recruit from the entire world, which means that from countries where this is where it's common that also people with bachelor degree do publications, then they may have a surprisingly long list of publications. But from other nations, it will not be the case.
My next question is to Ferry. What is the idea behind this scholarship? Why they are granted?
Erasmus Mundus is a brand and on some level a trademark of EU. Erasmus Mundus master programs are treated to be the best of the best programs, master programs in Europe, and the idea behind the whole initiative was to attract the most talented candidates outside of Europe to study in Europe on one hand, on the other hand to find a job, a profession in Europe, and then to maintain good professional connections with their home countries.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question is to Kanut. What is the future of this program? Where it is headed? How successful this program has been in the past years?
So the program, as it currently is, has a history based on the smart systems integration programs, where the first cohort admitted started in 2013. So we have a 10-year history back. And out of these candidates, there is more than 200 or roughly 200 candidates that have been graduated. They are now employed all over the world, but with a majority being in Europe, in quite many European countries, and more or less half has gone to a PhD degree, where those that started early are already finished, and the positions these people have are either as engineers in small or large companies. Some have started their own companies, and some have started an academic career. So there's a wide range of job opportunities that has come out. We have from the surveys we make, it appears that there's an employment rate close to 100%, and the SSI graduates keep the connections to which means that the network is growing every year.
Okay, one more question. How do you evaluate an applicant during the interview?
The applicant is asked to present some of the prior projects. We don't give very much time, so it also shows the candidate's ability to present the most important thing in a limited time frame, in order to catch the attention of the interview panel. We also have asked some questions which also test the candidate's ability to adapt to a European system where we expect more independent thinking than what may be the case in for example South and East Asian countries, for example. And then we don't expect the candidate to come to adapt immediately to the European system, but we evaluate the answers based on how we deem this candidate to be able to cope with being in a different country with different expectations than in his or her home country.
Okay, so my last question for both of you is that, do you have any message for the potential applicants who are going to apply next year? And especially if you have any message for the Pakistani community who is watching this video.
So it's work well in your bachelor degree to make to get as good results as possible. Be dedicated in the projects you are. Show your motivation. Look carefully into what the program is about, so you understand what it's about at the time you apply, and at the time you are called for an interview. Show that you have the knowledge about what the program is, and that this is what really motivates you.
As Chris mentioned already, SSI is now a well-known brand, so to say, in Europe. So you can even consider this as a passport for the most appreciated jobs in the system integration, smart system integration, integrated circuits, even cyber physical systems, IoT positions all around Europe, and probably outside of Europe too.
Thank you so much, Kanut and Ferry, for your time. I hope this interview is going to help a lot of potential applicants. It was a pleasure to have you both.
Thank you very much for this chance to participate in the interview. We welcome new applicants to the SSIS program, and for my own part, after having worked with this for more than 10 years, it's really a pleasure to welcome excellent students from all over the world and see how they can grow in these environments which we offer. And we wish all the very best luck.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. And if you are an applicant, good luck.
Thank you.